Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. Shout out all the coaches. You see, my coach, he believed in me since jump.
Welcome to another edition of Tuff Talk with Coach P. I, of course, am your man, Coach P, and I'm thrilled today to be here with you. Today, we have an amazing show. We got a special guest here to talk about Lincoln High School and Valencia Park Pop Warner. Today, we have the legendary Mitchy Slick, who's going to be on with us today. Just to recap what we talked about last week's title was, are we coaching the kids or are we coaching our own childhood? I believe that's a show that every coach should go listen to. If you are coaching the child in the rearview mirror, meaning you're coaching the child that you used to be, you need to look in the mirror and make sure that you're out there for the right reason. Don't put these unrealistic expectations on these kids because there's something missing in your own childhood. So definitely go check out episode 5 if you haven't. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our Spotify channel if you haven't already. It is the way that you keep up with what we're doing, and it also makes sure that you get the information first. Also follow us on all social media platforms at Coach P Tuff Talk, all one word. So we're going to get into this after a word from our sponsors. You are listening to Tuff Talk with Coach P. I am your man, Coach P. We'll be right back.
The Standard is a youth mentorship program empowering young men ages 8 to 14 through athletics, personal growth, and structured guidance. Built on the values of discipline, teamwork, and integrity, The Standard connects sports with life lessons to help participants develop confidence, leadership, and strong character on and off the field.
Welcome back to Tuff Talk with Coach P. I, of course, am your man, Coach P. And as promised, we have a very special guest on the show today, Mitchy Slick. Man, thank you so much for taking your time to come on here and talk with us today, man. Tell me, what's new before we get into this? We're going to keep this about football, but I know you got a lot of great things popping off, man. Tell us what's going on with you, and then we're going to get right into this thing.
Oh, man, I've been doing music for a long time now, man. So, a lot of times when I do interviews, it's about music, but music always gonna go on, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
Shout out to the homie DJ Fresh. Me and DJ Fresh working on a new album. Shout out to my brothers Mike and Keys. We working on a new album. But aside from that, my main focus just be giving back and looking out for my community and my peoples, man. So, we got the Christmas giveaway. Me and my family been doing it I've been a part of it for like the last 15 years, but my family been doing it for like 30 years, man. We give out like hundreds of thousands of toys every year in Southeast San Diego. So that's what we gearing up for right now.
Wow. That's amazing. Let me know how I can help perpetuate that noise, man. I would love to be a part of that. That's what we're definitely all about, giving back to the community. So I'm going to jump right into it, man. Lincoln High School. Right now, Lincoln High School is really putting on for the culture. Talk about your ties to Lincoln High School and why you decided to take this on as a personal cause.
Well, really, it's always been that because I grew up there, bro. My grandmother taught at Lincoln, man. I've been a part of the Lincoln family, man, since I was born. You know what I mean? Yeah. My aunts taught at Lincoln. I went to Lincoln. I played ball at Lincoln. You know what I mean? Valencia Park Pop Warner, of course, is, the feeder program for Lincoln. Historically, in the last few years, it's been a little different, but we're getting back to that now. Man, it's just a part of, if you grew up in Southeast San Diego, in my section, right off of, I grew up playing on the park. The park is right there at the school. We used to throw our little pickup games at Lincoln before they closed the gates. That's where we played every day. We wanted to go do whatever. We did it on the campus of Lincoln as a kid coming up, you know what I mean? So that's just home for me. It ain't no particular reason, but just me doing what I feel I'm supposed to do as an elder in the community now, you know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. So talk about being an elder in the community and how youth football, particularly in that area, Valencia Park, Lincoln, talk about the effect that had on you as a young man, because rumor has it that you were pretty good back in the day.
It's crazy. I don't like to big myself up in that thing, but, just to give you a perspective, Achilles Smith would be the quarterback for Skyline, and I would be the quarterback for Valencia Park. And some of them Saturdays we will win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to understand, it was future Heisman Trophy winners on the other side of that line. Rashawn Salam and Shante Bakers and Marlon Manassas, legendary, you know what I'm saying, Southeast baller. So I was in the mix of it. I wouldn't say that I was I mean, well, in youth ball, yeah, I was a 5-star,
Right.
but when high school come around, you know, 5-star they start looking a certain way and growing
Right.
a certain height, and that's kind of what happened to me, homie. I never got past, you know, basically being an all-star in youth ball, because by the time we got to high school, a lot of cats, you know, was outgrowing me, and a lot of the streets came, and you know, street activities came and became more of a priority just based off of survival. And that's one thing a lot of these coaches, communities, and kids on other parts of the community got to understand. Y'all, you know, y'all, you do your thing and you make your team strong, and then y'all play against Lincoln. But if y'all really knew all the stuff that went into getting the kids to come from that community and putting the focus on football that it takes to be competitive in San Diego's scene, I'm going to tell it straight up. You other schools and you other coaches, y'all only coaching as half as hard as the coaches at Lincoln is coaching, because we're having to coach a lot more things, you know what I'm saying, based on the backgrounds of the kids. And shout off and hats off to all the coaches that raised us up, man. I mean, legendary coaches like Coach Fears and Coach Moore and Coach Sharp and Coach Brown and Coach Eddie Joe, and a lot of cats was basically in our community were the only fathers that a lot of kids coming up in our time knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to my dad. My dad was there. I mean, my parents weren't together. My dad was there, but I remember being more afraid of my Pop Warner coaches seeing my report card than my dad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I mean, I grew up on a street that's notorious in Southeast for Pop Warner football. I mean, you got to figure it was like 5 of the coaches from Valencia Park lived on my street coming up, so we couldn't do nothing wrong. It was year-round football for us on my block. We grew up right by the park, you know what I'm saying, Lincoln Park. It was year-round football. That's all we did. That's all we cared about. We wouldn't even put our books up coming home from school. Everybody, you'll see the whole sidewalk would just be lined up with everybody's books, because we wouldn't even go in the house before we started playing tackle on the street. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, that's what Pop Warner meant to us. It was everything. It was what built us. It was the structure that built us. It was physically built us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mentally built us, and also showed us how to be brothers over there. And it's a lot of homies that went off to go to other neighborhoods or be from other sides of town, and the hoods might have been rivaling. But regardless, if we played Pop Warner together, it was always some type of love and brotherhood, even to this day. You know what I mean? That's what Pop Warner did for us.
For the ones putting in work when no one's watching. From the early risers to the late night ballers. Introducing Youngstar Creatine Gummies. The clean science-backed creatine gummy made for today's athlete. Boost strength, train harder, and recover faster. Youngstar, fueling today's future athlete. Youngstar.
I've spoken this in our very first episode about how, and I'm from Southeast DC, you know, and I don't know if you've ever been to DC, but you know, yeah, Southeast DC is you know, yes. So for me, and I'll say this, football probably saved my life, right? That and my mom was crazy, right? My life and football was what got me out here. I mean, football opened up a lot of doors for me. So it's the same thing. And I talk about this similar to what you just said about how these coaches sometimes might be the first example of what a good man is. And that's no disrespect to fathers or anything like that. But in those situations, coaches might be the best man. So I really want you to talk about that even more, how much more trouble you would have got in. You understand what I'm saying? If it wasn't for these guys that came in your life and gave you something else to look forward to.
Man, well, you know, like I said again, man, as getting to be grown, you understand how important it is to have both parents in the house.
Yeah.
And systematically, the communities like mine across the country, they were forced to not have a lot of fathers in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Like, man, straight up, man. Like, it's a lot of homies that I grew up with, man. I never ever saw them with their dads. I never saw them with their fathers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's changed. It's changed a lot now, but it ain't completely changed compared to other communities.
Right.
And like I said, man, Coach Moore, Coach Sharp, they taught us it was consequences. You know what I mean? If they told you to do something, you had to do it. If they told you don't be playing throw up tackle after the games because y'all might hurt yourself, and they caught you doing that, it was consequences to pay. And I'm talking about real consequences. Consequences that was probably even stricter than the consequences I would get at home for a lot of stuff that I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you, man, even today, man, if we all get together, us and all the homies, and not if, when we get together, at least 80% of the time, if we link up, it's going to be a conversation about Pop Warner and them coaches. Coach Sharp, Coach Fears, Coach Dink, Coach Takufu, Coach Cicero. It's going to be conversations because them dudes really impacted us as kids. You know what I mean? Those are the cats that we looked up to. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And man, I'm telling you, man, just the motivation I got from a lot of new cats, and we love them the same today, man. Like a couple coaches done passed, man. We still family with their kids, and even their kids is like my little nephews now. You know what I mean? Growing up at Valencia Park, that's probably like the most organized thing we had going on, and that's the reason why Lincoln is so important. Because if you think about it, man, a lot gentrification and a lot of stuff has tore up the community.
Yes.
You know, everybody talk they mess, but we don't have all the kids that we have in our community. And a lot of times, a lot of these people say we get a lot of transfers at Lincoln and all this type of stuff coming in. But they mamas is from the Southeast, bro. They daddies is from the Southeast. They just one generation moved out because of gentrification. They really are kids. You know what I mean? Kudos to whoever's getting theirs off against Lincoln right now, because we very competitive when it comes to this football stuff. Very, very competitive. Kudos to y'all, whatever. But you know, y'all be winning with our boys, and that's one of the things that brought me in. Coach Dunn at Lincoln is one of my good partners, man, from like a big brother, man, coming up in the community. He played at Valencia Park when I played there. I mean, older, but he played there, and just seeing the effort and the struggles that he put into giving back and building the programs up over there. It ain't just about football over there. It's about football is the only thing to keep a lot of the kids over there out the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's the only type of organized thing that we kind of got going on over there. A lot of homies don't play no other sports. A lot of homies in the community, they don't play baseball. I want them to, you know what I'm saying? The soccer and baseball and our football is it. You know what I mean? And so that's one of the reasons why I came to support Lincoln, because I saw the efforts that Coach Dunn was doing. In 2016, moved back to San Diego for a while, and I went up to the school like I always did, but we barely had enough players for a team. We was like 22 players for a team. This isn't like 15, 16, I think it was. And when he told me why, he said it was because, you know, a lot of people want to move out the community now. They don't believe that their kids can get a good education at Lincoln. And while he telling me that, he was saying, but bro, the whole team got a cumulative 3.5 GPA. And when he told me that, I was like, man, I said, well, look, Coach Dunn, you can go look up the interview. It's on YouTube too. It's Mitchy Slick, Coach Dunn. And I asked him, what would he say to the parents if he could? He said, man, you got to do your homework and look into it and look at all the kids that, you know, we've gotten out and how the kids are doing now. A year from that interview, bro, where he's telling me it's kids that would play for Lincoln. I mean, they would come play against Lincoln. And then when their school would leave, they didn't even have to get on the bus. They just walk across the street home. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And this is because in our generation, Lincoln was turned up. You know what I mean? Lincoln was active. You know, I went to a different Lincoln. We still played ball, but it was a lot of stuff going on at Lincoln that made a lot of parents probably not feel safe about sending their kids to Lincoln. But far as what goes on inside those gates now, it's a whole different situation. And I just put that information out there. Like I say, a lot of people like to give me credit here and there. I'm not responsible for nothing, but putting out and letting be known what Coach Dunn, Coach Stutz, you know what I'm saying, what these cats have done coming from the community, getting the kids to come back over there. I just let the city know what's going on because they was unaware. A lot of cats might love Slick or not like Slick or whatever, but they all pay attention. And so I use my platform to let the city know what's going on. Bro, within a year from that time, we went to a state championship for the time that I put that interview out. From us not having really enough players to play on the team, put the interview out. A year later, we up in the Bay and we playing at Menlo Atherton in the state championship. Shout out to Don Chapman and Keyshawn Smith. They was part of that squad that year. You know what I'm saying? My little nephews. But yeah, man, that's my thing, man. Just giving back, because I know that the majority of the movers and shakers from the black community in San Diego, or not just black in the, the urban community in San Diego, they come from football, you know what I mean? And they come from Lincoln.
You don't just show up, you show out every damn day. This ain't your average energy boost. Young Star Energy Gummies give today's future athletes clean fuel with real results. No jitters, no crash, just straight up energy and faster bounce back. Clinically shown to support energy, muscle recovery, and cellular health. Young Star, stay lit, recover quick, and level up. Young Star.
And welcome back to Tuff Talk with Coach P. Again, we are here with the legendary Mitchy Slick. Well, let's stay there too, because, and I posed this question to Coach James as well. What do we need to do? Because this has been my experience, and I've been in San Diego for, my oldest son is 30 years old. So I've been in San Diego for about 31 years. Mm-hmm. And the common theme has been getting our community, the black community, on the same page. It's like, coming from DC, and you've been there, man, everybody is black, right? So coming here was different. It seemed like it would be easier to get us all on the same page because our community is so small, but it's like we often want to be the only one in the room, so how is it that we can get, particularly in this coaching community, because when you think about it, man, you got Day, you had Coach James, you had these guys that were starting to win state titles, right? So it's not like our black coaching community is not out here making moves, right? But how do we get on the same page so that we can really make this thing in San Diego, the factory, not just Lincoln, but San Diego, continue to be the factory that it has been historically? How can we get those guys on the same page so we really getting it? What do you think?
I think it just starts in the whole understanding of our community as a whole, and not just football.
Right.
I think we got this, we just lack love in San Diego, straight up. It's the same with the organizations, the rappers, mm-hmm. even just the understanding between the youngsters and the old. It's a lack of love. It's like we forgot or don't know how to really love one another and what it means to be. Like we don't understand certain things that we'll do in San Diego amongst our community. In other black communities or urban communities, that's considered foul ball. You know what I mean? It's certain stuff you don't do to your folks. It's certain stuff you don't say about your people. It's certain stuff you don't put out on the internet about your folks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think the other thing is it's not a big pie. It's not a lot of big gains. So everybody's scrapping over the little pieces of whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We gotta make hating. We gotta make not being genuine. We gotta make that a crime. We gotta make it a crime. It's got to be a crime to hate your brother like that.
I love it.
It got to be a crime, and it got to be repercussions for doing stuff that would not be like. It's certain stuff that if the Muslim brothers got something going on, you ain't gonna know about it. That's their business,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We got to think and put the kids first. You got to do what's right. You got to think about your kid, and you can't be so selfish. And so you got to be selfless. I mean, you know what I mean? And think about what's better as a whole.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everybody's so focused on them getting their little piece or them getting their shine. Like I said, don't nobody know all the stuff I do for Lincoln. I don't talk about it. It just ain't in me to do that. You know what I mean? Because I do it from a genuine place. I give back and that's cool, but I like to win, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like my team to win. So a lot of it come from just my team winning. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Shout out to all them other schools and all them other places, man. But we gotta quit hating on one another and don't be afraid to stay at home. If you don't like something that's going on at Lincoln, well, listen, folks from the urban community, Lincoln is yours. It's yours. If at Morris, Southeast, Morris is yours. So if it was your house and the plumbing was messed up, what you gonna do? Oh man, my house is messed up and I ain't that house is bunk. I ain't going to that house. Now you're gonna fix your house.
Right.
If you see something going on wrong at Lincoln, well, it's yours. Come help fix it then. But then just to turn your back and then go play for some other schools that can't really stand us and they just using our boys just to be able to clown us. We coach the boys all up in youth ball, and as soon as they get to high school, y'all send them out to these other schools, and then they think they doing something when they beat us. Y'all beating us with our own kids.
Right.
But it's good. But I'm just saying, if you see something wrong with what's going on in Southeast, y'all fix it. It ain't just about y'all. And man, I don't got all the answers for it, bro. But this is just what I see. Gotta be some old love, homie. You gotta be some love.
I like that. I think that's the right answer. It's loving each other, but then it's also loving yourself enough and loving your own black skin enough to know that you worth it and so forth. And what's best for the group is what's best for me individually. I mean, that's just, kind of what it is.
I'm not trying to create segregation or nothing like that, but it be tripping me out to see these kids and these parents talking crazy to me, and then their kids play for a team or they represent the school that we couldn't even go to that neighborhood without them throwing stuff at our community on some racist stuff when we play youth ball. And now when I go out there, I got to see my own folks out there with them hating on us. That's crazy, homie. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not trying to create no divide. I'm just saying, I'm talking about our people, not staying down with our people. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
I do. I feel that. And I feel we need more of that here in San Diego. Now, I know you don't like to talk about the things that you've done specifically for Lincoln, but I do want to talk a little bit about the field situation and the role you played in that, because with the success that Lincoln was having, it was shameful that you guys didn't have a proper field to play on. So walk me through that. What was the reason? What was the holdup? And how'd you move that along? Because it seemed like it was like, man, we don't have a place to play. And then the next season it's on and popping. It's opening day. So talk to me about that. And I know it felt like that, but I know it was a struggle. So talk to me about that, how you made that happen, or what role you played in that.
I can't speak on all the particulars because I don't try to dive too far into the inner politics of whatever. Yeah. I just know that I just brought awareness to the situation. That's it. And I can't really think of no time where a lot of these other schools have had to go through what everybody be talking about. They like, bro, do y'all know what we got to do to get them Lincoln boys on the field? Bro, we was driving 15 minutes to practice every day.
I saw it. It was crazy.
I don't like to put the gang politics in it, but it's the elephant in the room. We have those situations in our community, just as every other community across the country has in the lower income areas. You got street politics. Bro, our boys is practicing on the wrong side of town every day, homie. Like people that would be supporting if it was at our school wasn't even being able to go over there to support the boys while they was at practice. 15, 20 minutes drive on a school bus after practice. 15, 20 minutes after. We missing hours of practice time because you can only hold the boys up for so long and still able to pull off a state championship. Like,
it's a miracle.
It's a miracle, bro.
Yeah.
Really, it is. It is. And
I mean, it does speak to not just the X's and O's, but the coach that Coach Dunn is. It speaks, I mean, people really need to understand that. I mean, I've been coaching high school football in San Diego for a while, coaching youth football, what it takes to build a championship team. To do that under those circumstances, man, talk about that. That's, I mean, or continue to talk about that, because that part of it is amazing to me.
Man, Coach Dunn get to school sometimes like 7 o'clock in the morning. No, all the time. Like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. And he leaving and locking the school up at 8, 9 o'clock at night every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Making sure these kids is getting home. A lot of the coaching that's going on the field, it's a lot of helping hands that's a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Coach Carter, Coach Reed was there. Shout out to Coach Reed, you know what I'm saying? One of our alumni. You know, everybody, man. Coach B, you know what I'm saying? This year we had a couple new cats come on that's helping out, man, but it's a lot of other stuff that Coach Dunn has to deal with that the average high school coach doesn't have to deal with, because Coach Dunn is really playing a father role to a lot of these kids, you know what I mean? And so, man, it's like I said, me bringing awareness. That's just my job. I mean, I just bring awareness. I still got to go and do my thing. I'm not a coach. Like I said, I ain't no coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just a supporter. I mean, I want to see my team win. And my main motivation is I know what the support could do and the difference it could make, because it's the same thing that I needed in order to blow as big as I could in the music industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what makes me aware and know, like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be doing this for these boys. Because I know what I missed out on from the community, where what they were supposed to be doing for me to help me get to the next level and then be able to reach back and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the homies on. I know what it takes. But Coach Dunn, man, he been in the trenches with the fellas. And it's even been times when Coach Dunn wasn't even physically at his best, but he's still there. And I know that a lot of reason why he ain't at his best in that category is because he having to focus on being the best he can be for the boys. You know what I mean?
Right.
If y'all really knew, and I'm not going to get on here and talk about it, but all the weight that's on this man's shoulders to get a team to come out there and line up together, homie, and move on one accord, homie, no other coach in San Diego ain't even half on the same level when it comes to the effort and the work this man got to put in. That it's a lot of stuff ain't even got to do with X's and O's, bro. It's just regular life stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's just why my hats off to him, and it's pretty hard for me to not support him in every way I can. You know what I mean? I wish the whole community felt like that, because a lot of the stresses that Coach Dunn got to go through, or that the whole school has to go through, comes from the lack of but then you got to remember the gentrification. A lot of the people in the community, they don't even feel like that's their community, because they're new people. They're fresh, first generation. The last 10 years, 15 years, it's been a straight switch in demographic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, man, salute to my Hispanic little nephews and their families. Salute to them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if they feel the same way we actually feel about Lincoln. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the way. So therefore, like, I tripped out, homie. I went to J. Sarah to a game just to go. You know, I travel all across the country, bro, and watch high school games. Matter of fact, shout out to North Shore. Man, I went to watch North Shore out in Texas a few weeks ago. I was just out there for my homecoming at Prairie View. Every state I go to, I'll go watch a game. I went and watched Bixby in Oklahoma not long ago. You know what I'm saying? Colorado up there. I travel around the country and watch high school football. I like high school football more than any college, whatever. And I saw the way the parents at J. Sarah was, man, it was about 1,000 parents. It don't even seem like it was nobody under the age of 35 in the parking lot, man, turned up like community.
Right.
Like 1,000 parents in the parking lot. I was like, man, you know, like, if all of our members could come out and support like this, it'd be a big difference. But we got to do a lot every year to make that feel happen, or take those Hawaii trips that we take. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, but I just wish everybody in our community understood what it takes and knew that, you know what, you got a responsibility. I don't care if you donate $100 for the year. You know, $100 from 1,000 people, do the math.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's enough to, you know, and it take a couple $100,000 to run a football team every year. Probably more for these other schools, you know what I'm saying? But as far as food, uniforms, you know, the staffing and the travel and everything we use, homie. You know what I mean? The cheerleaders, the band, whatever it is, it takes a lot of money to make that happen, but it's not really enough when you got your whole community there really supporting. And I just think I want our community to understand every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. And these boys are really doing their thing. This is our main hub for getting our youth and our youngsters to elevated levels, getting them off to college, getting wherever. This is it. If y'all want to see our community do better, y'all want to help the youth, the ones that can make a change in the Southeast, then you most definitely can do that by supporting Lincoln Athletics, because these are the boys that's going off to college and being able to come back and be the changers, you know?
The Standard is a youth mentorship program empowering young men ages 8 to 14 through athletics, personal growth, and structured guidance. Built on the values of discipline, teamwork, and integrity, the Standard connects sports with life lessons to help participants develop confidence, leadership, and strong character on and off the field.
So let's talk about that. You guys at Lincoln, and I'm lump you in there with Lincoln. You guys are sending them, man. They are going everywhere. Talk about that in the process, as far as you can, the process and what these guys are doing, the coaches. And I'm sure they have to have someone that is heading up recruiting over there, because the way they're getting these guys out, it takes a focus to do that. So talk about that and how these kids are going, and not just going, but going and staying and graduating and getting to the league and all that other good stuff. Talk about that.
Well, the slogan goes, if you want to play with the big dogs, you got to come to Lincoln. Okay. That's, right. I coined that one. But the thing is the number one thing, not the only thing, but the number one thing that attributes to the success of the boys at Lincoln getting out and going to schools is the fact that these schools know, based off of history, based off of the connections that the coaches that we have at Lincoln have from playing at the college level and playing in the NFL. Historically, we've had that. Okay. The number one thing is this: when them scouts come to Lincoln, they know they got a dog. If they get a player from Lincoln, they know he ain't no punk. And you that sounds real primitive and simple, but not in the football world.
Right. It's football. Right.
Not in the football world. He might say, for instance, they could come to Lincoln. He might not have the skill set. He might not have the skill set that this college may think he should have. He might not be whatever. But one thing they know is he ain't no punk. And so that's the reason why they always gonna come to Lincoln. They gonna come to Lincoln regardless. Whether we good, whether we didn't have a good year, they gonna come to Lincoln. So that's what I tell to the youngsters, man. You want to get a look? You gonna get a look at Lincoln. I don't care if y'all beat us or I don't care what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
50 D1s, 50 D1 colleges are going to come up to Lincoln every year and see what we got. Cause they know
which is crazy, because you guys, I mean, Lincoln is putting them out. From what I've seen particularly over the last, like, maybe 4 years, the rate that Lincoln is putting these guys going D1 is just, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, bigger than some of these parochial schools. They got all the money and got all the resources and got their names on the weights and stuff like that. Crazy. Yeah. The last 4 years, it's just been an explosion.
Is the last 4, if you take the last 6 years, it's probably been over like 70 D1 kids out in the last, and we talking about a school with 1,200 kids. You know what I mean?
That's, man, hold up. Say that one more time, because that's crazy.
In the last 7 years, it's probably been close to 70, no less than 60 kids that went D1. And we talking about Georgia, North Carolina, USC. We ain't got an Ohio State in a while. But everywhere, homie, Oregon, you know what I'm saying? And like the coaches got direct pipelines because of the fact that we got a couple coaches that actually played in the NFL. Historically, It's always one or two coaches on the sideline that played in the NFL. And you know how it's a club. It's a fraternity. So I mean, and we really, I mean, that's my thing, because I know a lot of coaches and a lot of people too. So I do a lot of the calls myself to a lot of my partners that are coaches now. Shout out to my boy B Sanders and Anthony Hill, and these is all cats that play pop on the community, but it's a community thing. You know what I mean? Coach Tyree Robinson, you know what I'm saying? You know, these cats can pick up the phone and call coaches and let them know they got a dog. And once one of them cats say they got a dog, they got a dog because we ain't putting the stamp on no suckers. So it ain't like you got to do what you're supposed to do though. We ain't making no calls about no knuckleheads though. So if you come in, you gotta have the work ethic. And a lot of times, some of the kids come and they might not get to where they want to get to, and their parents might feel away. But the thing is, they have to understand that the coaches can't mess up a relationship with a school by recommending a kid that they know ain't gonna really fall in line like they're supposed to when they get there off of this coach's word. These scouts come and they talk to the coach and they taking the coach's word. The coach gotta tell them, hey, look, I know y'all about to invest a lot of time and a lot of money in this kid, and I'm giving him a thumbs up because I know he's gonna do what he's supposed to do. If a coach does that for a kid that hasn't performed well for us in his attitude or academically or all that, they can't necessarily put the stamp on your kid, because what that's gonna do is ruin their reputation, and then it's gonna shut the pipeline down for all the rest of the kids that potentially could have used that pipeline.
I'm glad you said that. And man, we definitely think alike, because that was going to be where I was going to go, as far as tell me of a time, or has there been a time when there's been a kid, and I've come across this, coach, and I coached at San Diego High. We have similar demographics and some similar issues there as well. And we had a young man that this kid was like 6'5", man. He was a monster. He catch everything you throw to him, but his attitude was so bad. He freaking out in practice, wanting to fight coaches and all that other good stuff. We had scouts coming up to the school looking for this kid, all this other stuff, but we couldn't stamp him. Why? Because of the same thing you just said. This kid go there, he end up beating somebody up in practice or some foolishness, and now it's messing up the pipeline for the rest of the players there. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Like, us as coaches, yes, we are going to be that big brother, that support and stuff like that. But you as a player, you got to play your part too. It's a cohesive synergy that has to be there. And as long as we keep feeding that thing, that's how this thing goes. And the kids need to understand that.
Hey, man, it ain't nothing else to say about that. If they didn't get it from what you just said, homie, they don't get no more self-explanatory than that. What you got to do is they got to be empathetic, homie, and they got to put themselves in the shoes of the coach.
Absolutely.
You got to put yourself in the shoes of the coach. And a lot of times they got to understand they're going to do stuff to test you. And the coach is going to do stuff to try to break you and see where you at, especially if you looking like you borderline knucklehead. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to do it, but see, that's what you got to learn as a player. You got to understand you got one goal. Your goal is to get to the next level. Anything that doesn't help you get to the next level, then you out of pocket for doing it. Correct. So you got to be wise enough to know. And if you're not, you just plain dumb. Me talking shit to this coach every day, is that going to help me get to college, or is it going to hurt me get to college? Like I said, if you're doing anything that in your brain you know is not going to help you get to the next level, then you a fool. And sometimes I got to speak my mind, or okay, well, speak your mind. Sit at home then. Then go do your own business. Get your own business. But in this world, it's protocol. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So it ain't much more to say than what we already said about that, bro. It's common sense with that.
That's real talk. But I think I'm glad that you kind of pivoted to that, because in that conversation, and it's funny because even with coaches, sometimes they don't understand that. And with the kids, they definitely don't understand that. But this, definitely. I think it's generational too. This generation.
Oh, it's not there. You're right. It's generational.
Yeah.
But we didn't do a lot of stuff these kids do.
Some of the stuff kids do, or the way they talk to coaches, is just crazy. For me, that's why, and to piggyback off of that, that's why for me, the youth is my ministry almost, right? I want to get them before, and I think my football knowledge, I should be coaching high school or maybe even beyond. I'm an arrogant bastard when it comes to this.
Straight up, yeah.
But the youth, if I can get my hands on the young kids, you understand, put some good stuff in them. I mean, for me with football, I really use it as a ministry. It's a way for me to help these guys become better fathers, better men, better brothers, better husbands. But I'm not preaching at them, right? We can these ideals in these guys using football. So for me, that's why I'm like really focused on the youth, so that by the time they get to Lincoln, you guys got good men on your hands. You know what I'm saying? So even going back to VP, man, how involved is Lincoln in the VP youth organization? Are you guys working to make that a true feeder? How does that relationship work?
So in the last 10 years, it hasn't been, but right now it is. And, I don't want to give up too much of our inside on it, but I think
I see that 13U team was nice.
I think everybody else gonna feel the pressure and they gonna calm it down just a little bit, because we haven't been using that for forever. See, Coach Dunn used to be a youth ball coach. Right. I think Coach Dunn record is like 100 wins to 10 losses or something. Like, he was a monster youth coach or something. Right. And we just actually opened that pipeline up. If you see, they the Hornets now, and we knew that was something that we needed and something that everybody else was using. But yeah, we got it going on now, and I think you're going to start seeing the difference in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, you guys hit the ground running this year. It was a different organization all the way around, just from what I've seen on social media, the uniforms, I mean, the gameplay, the swag, you know what I'm saying? It was different. I could tell that somebody stirred the pot up over there, because it's not your, yeah. That's what's up. So, I mean, for me, anything I could do again with the platform, particularly as it relates to youth football, man, let me know.
You don't just show up, you show out every damn day. This ain't your average energy boost. Young Star Energy Gummies give today's future athletes clean fuel with real results. No jitters, no crash, just straight up energy and faster bounce back. Clinically shown to support energy, muscle recovery, and cellular health. Young Star, stay lit, recover quick, and level up.
Man, this was a lot today, and I think I didn't want to go too much into the music, because everybody knows that about you. I think some people got some insight on how knowledgeable about football you are. So if you thought your man Slick was out here playing games, don't try to debate my man about this game, because it sounds like he knows what he's talking about. That's the light that I wanted to shine today, and also just what you do in the community. And I think people need to understand that, and they need to know that what you give back to the community, a lot of people don't even really understand that. So I'm going to be a cheerleader of sorts for those type of things. And if there's anything I could do to help you with that, that's a phone call away. And I mean that.
I appreciate that.
You're going to see we're doing a lot of stuff with our youth mentor program, and I would love to get you involved with that as well. And we have a STEM program that's a part of that. In this youth mentor program, we're actually starting to do this in middle schools. I've teamed up with the San Diego PD outreach program, and they have guided me to the middle schools where the so-called worst students are. That's really where I want to go. Okay. I want to go where the people, where the forgotten ones are, where the ones that need to be loved on the most. That's where I want to be. You understand what I'm saying?
I most definitely do.
So that's what we're talking about. So offline, we'll continue to have more conversations about that, because I do have a lot of resources in terms of the sports world, NFL players, that type of stuff. So let's make some of those things happen here in San Diego. And I'll leave you with this. So when my son was a youth player, and he was a pretty good youth player, and I used to see all these players from around the nation, like, oh man, this kid's the best running back. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, hold up, man. Hold up, man. You understand what I'm saying? He can't be the best running back in the nation, because, so I kind of got on my horse. I started going to the FBU camps. I started doing all-star games here in San Diego. So the first ever all-star game, youth all-star game, I did it. It was called the Pride All-Star Classic. This was in 2011. This was before YouTube. You could even live stream on YouTube. I paid a guy $5,000 to come out there and live stream the game. Yes, the Q Bowl games, we were doing I got the film and all that other good stuff, because I wanted to bring something different here to San Diego. So I'm back on that. When I hear people talk about LA, and yes, man, I spent a lot of time out in LA doing NSR, and they got athletes, but per capita, San Diego, don't nobody do it like us, man.
Come on,
So,
bro.
so
Listen, man. They can talk all that mess that they want to, Coach B. We got the Heisman's, man. Heisman, California, man. Straight
Yes.
up. You know, ain't no other city got 4 Heisman's, especially not no 10 square block radius, man. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want, but they got to look at the numbers. Like you said, per capita, man. Lincoln, come on, bro. We like 10th most NFL players in the world, man. That's a public school, homie, with 1,200 students, bro. You know what I mean? It ain't just Lincoln. It's a gang of schools that put up
Yes.
boys from all over,
San
bro.
Diego
It ain't just Lincoln.
players, they can play anywhere, and I believe our
Anywhere.
teams can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Here's the problem though, and I'm looking at this from a youth football perspective, and I'm just gonna keep it as blunt as possible. It's too much division, and it's too much guys saying, instead of coaching these guys up, you can't tell these young coaches nothing. If you say something to them, you hating, and then they just gonna take their ball and they gonna go over here, and then when it don't work
I
out,
already know that part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of stay out of that part, Pete.
that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? But if like we talked about earlier, if we could kind of get on the same page, man, and blow this thing up, I don't think that, any other state, or any other city. I'm not just talking about LA, the Bay, whoever you want to, Texas, whoever you want to put up. I think that we could play anywhere on every level. And for me, I want to build that platform to show it.
Hey, bro, I play high school football in Texas. I played a year. They always talk about Texas. No disrespect to Texas, but this is what I say about Texas. They bigger, they faster, they stronger. But they not better.
Right.
They thought I was the shit. The school I went to in Texas thought they was about to win the state championship because I played out there with them. And I was just, average baller, you know what I'm saying, in Dago. No doubt. They're bigger. They're faster. They're stronger. But skill-wise, California, bro, straight up. And before we leave, I got a couple things I want to leave with you because I know one is the term. You said what we got to do. And you said they pick up the ball and leave. And I said I wasn't familiar. Well, I am kind of familiar with that in the terms where it fits in with a phrase that's been coined when the dad is coach. The daddy balling, homie. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and look, I got another coin for this. The ones that's real bad, shout out to hey, we call them daddy ball All-Americans. That's when they just overdo it. Look, right. they didn't issue out over 60,000 carries to their kids.
Right. Man, I did a whole show on daddy balling. I mean,
daddy ball All-Americans.
We got to get them out of here, but not the daddy ball All-Americans. That's a whole nother show. I'm saying that's a whole nother show. But we got a lot of them out here. But yeah, man. Finally, let everybody know where they can find you. What you got new, and this is the time. Yeah, promote your music. What we got going on, man. Where can we find you? What's next?
Check it out, Coach P. This is what we got. I don't know if a lot of kids know about it. I don't know if the parents know about it, man. But I'm on the board in one of the Youngstar, man. It's part of my company as well. Youngstar is a company, homie, that's actually a youth sports enhancement company just off of natural stuff. It's a gummy company.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's microdosed creatine and microdose other natural vitamins and stuff that add on to the kids' daily necessary vitamin intake and stuff like that. Youngstar, and you see it's pretty big on the 707 circuit, and we're gonna be at some of the biggest 707 tournaments this year. And shout out to all the kids that's over there rocking with us. And I'm also on the board, another member of Fast Camp. Shout out to my brother KB and my brother Akili over there, my brother DJ. And these is awesome dudes that really love the kids, and that's the reason why I'm down with them on that. And we also got an All-Star game too that we had last year. Was the first one. That was the California All-Star Showcase. We're gonna run it back this year too. You know what I mean? And y'all be there and be a part of that. And other than that, man, it's just football right now. Y'all can go to my page and follow me and see everything else I got going on. But I got a page called the Slick Skin Report. I ain't too active on there. Shout out to the fellas over there. Shout out to my brother B over there at KUSI on PPR. You know what I'm saying? But you can see all my sports stuff because I don't want to clutter my algorithm. So I just got a whole page for all my involvement with the high school sports stuff. And I want to say, You know, shout out to my boys at Lincoln, man. It was a very, very rough season behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know what we had to go through over there at Lincoln this year. And there was a lot of injured players. A lot of our main injured players was over there. A lot of cats. Our defense, they saw a lot of points going up on Lincoln at the end of this year. They always say I'm crying and make excuses about everything, bro. But I'm going to tell you something. I need the whole city and everybody to be a part of this and just pay attention to a lot of officiating and stuff that be going on at the Lincoln games. It's been a few really, really terrible things that happened to us this year. You know what I'm saying? As far as with bad calls and stuff. But I don't think it's nothing that should be overlooked. I don't think it's nothing that should be overlooked. It's a lot of not fair stuff going on as far as with the calls. They always saying I'm crying, but I show receipts for everything I say. You know what I mean? Right. Salute to everybody that got a W on us this year. But it was a lot of injuries, man. My little nephew Tamaje was hurt this year. Our middle linebacker was hurt. Shout out to the ones that try to step up. You know what I'm saying? Seth and Cam Joy and them. But you know, that was. Man, we took a lot of injuries, suffered a lot of stuff this year defensively. But I only say this to tell my youngsters at Lincoln, keep your heads up, man. Don't put your heads down and nothing like that, man. Keep your heads up. You know, it don't matter, man. Y'all still the Hive, man. We still the factory, homie. And y'all did y'all thing. Shout out to all my youngsters that won awards over there. Prince Tavazan and, you know what I'm saying? And Curtis Jr. and everybody, especially the O-line this year, man. We had 2 backs go over 1,000 yards this year, man.
That's crazy.
I hate when everybody sleep on the O-line, man. Our O-line did our thing this year, man. Salute to the trenches, man. And that's what it is, man. I just want to see everybody prosper on me and get their just due for that. And Lincoln, we did that. Little CT over there brought a couple transfers in. Kanan Manna, Roa, we had a double tandem with quarterbacks here. They both did their thing. Shout out to all the DBs that stood tall. Jay Allen, you know what I'm saying? All the little homies, man. Little Rashad over there, man. 2 running backs go over 1,000. Like, come on, man. It's not a loss. Y'all keep y'all heads up and salute to the teams that did get them W's on us this year, y'all. But we'll be back next year. That just make it fun. That make it fun.
All right, man. I mean, on that right there, I don't even want to follow that. That right there, man, we're going to leave it right there. Man, you have been listening to Tuff Talk with Coach P. I am here with the legendary Mitchy Slick. And, man, we thank you for listening. I'm out.
Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. Shout out to the coaches. You see, my coach, he believed in me since jump. I'm a product of his coaching. Gotta give it up for Coach. Big shout out to the coaches. Shout out all the coaches. Yeah. You see, my coach, he believed in me since jump. I'm a product of his coaching. Gotta give it up for Coach.